Welcome to today's explainer. If you're a business owner or a growth strategist, you probably spend a whole lot of time thinking about exactly who your ideal client is. And chances are you've got them neatly categorized by industry, size, and budget. But what if I told you that by leaning so heavily on those traditional categories, you're actually leaving vast amounts of money and opportunity on the table? Well, today we're going to break right out of that limited client base and discover a pretty much infinite universe of opportunity. We're looking at specific strategies for expanding your addressable market boundaries way beyond simple industry labels. We're going to focus instead on actual business outcomes and how to leverage digital tools to get there. Let's dive in. So ask yourself, is your target market totally boxed in? It's kind of a painful thought, right? You might be feeling stuck right now in a really small, artificially constrained patch of soil where all your prospects are neatly but rigidly categorized. And honestly, it's a completely natural assumption to look at your existing client base and think, well, okay, these are the only types of companies that would ever buy from us. But as you'll see today, that mindset is wildly limiting. Here's our quick blueprint for today. First, we'll go beyond your walled garden. Then, look at cultivating real business outcomes. Explore the digital greenhouse advantage, walk through 3 steps to expand, and wrap everything up with nurturing genuine client conversations. Okay, Section 1. Beyond your walled garden, breaking out of the industry trap. It's a classic mistake, really, to fence ourselves in by looking only at the obvious suspects. Consider this one business that was absolutely convinced their total addressable market was maybe 200 regional companies. That was their walled garden. But by shifting to an expansive mindset, one that focused on business outcomes instead of industry labels, they remapped their potential reach. And just 6 months later, they identified over 2,000 qualified prospects across multiple sectors they had literally never even considered before. They 10x'd their prospect pool just by changing their perspective. Moving into Section 2, cultivating real business outcomes to find new fertile ground. To get that kind of massive growth, you have to shift your focus. I absolutely love this quote by the poet Muriel Rukeyser. The universe is made of stories, not of atoms. When it comes to business, this is profoundly true. Think about it. Every single business out there has a story. They have a distinct challenge, an aspiration, some burning need that's keeping the founders up at night. Your job isn't to match your product to an arbitrary industry label. It's to nurture that story. You have to find the stories that intersect perfectly with the expertise you provide. For example, let's say your current best client is in manufacturing, and you provide them with absolutely incredible efficiency improvements. If you stay boxed in, you're just going to keep looking for more manufacturing plants. But if you focus on the outcome, which is efficiency, where else is that desperately needed? Well, healthcare providers, logistics companies, even creative agencies. The nutrients of your solution apply across all of these sectors. A manufacturing efficiency fix could easily cure a hospital's administrative bottleneck. They're just expressing those exact same challenges using different industry language. Section 3, the digital greenhouse advantage and the tools for exponential growth. We are living right now in the golden age of targeted communication, and shedding that pre-digital mindset acts like a greenhouse for your growth. You no longer need a massive corporate budget to break into new sectors. You've got 3 game-changing realities working for you. First, cost-effective reach. You can communicate with thousands of prospects today for less than the cost of a single trade magazine ad 20 years ago. Second, precision targeting. Digital platforms let you find people based on their actual real-world challenges and interests, not just whatever job title is printed on their business card. And third, relationship building at scale. We finally have the tools to nurture relationships with hundreds of prospects simultaneously, all while keeping a truly personal touch. Yet, so many businesses are still operating like it's 1999, artificially limiting their own reach. Which brings us to Section 4, 3 steps to expand and plant the seeds of growth. Let's dive into a really practical framework to get those creative juices flowing. Step 1, expand your definition. Stop saying, we work with manufacturing companies, and start saying, we help organizations streamline their operational processes. Bam! Suddenly, retailers and nonprofits are on your prospect list. Step 2, follow the breadcrumbs. Take a hard look at your absolute best clients. What were the actual outcomes you delivered? Was it better compliance, happier customers? Trace those breadcrumbs backwards to ask what other organizations desperately need those identical outcomes. And step 3, think about adjacent pain points. If you excel at solving problem A, say supply chain optimization, you might actually be brilliant at addressing problem B in a completely different sector, like event logistics or resource allocation. But As we know, ideas are basically nothing without execution. So here is your action plan. First, you have to strip away all the industry jargon from your messaging. Focus purely on the core value and the real human problem you solve. Second, choose your platform. Where do these new audiences actually spend their time? Is it LinkedIn, local business events? And finally, and honestly, this is the most crucial part, prioritize testing over endless planning. Just make a start. Perfect targeting comes from planting seeds, starting conversations, measuring the response, and refining. You're never going to figure it all out sitting in front of a whiteboard.
Section 5. Nurturing genuine client conversations to harvest trust at scale.
Thousands. Literally thousands. In our hyper-connected world, you will never ever run out of people to speak with. It's just a mathematical reality. There are always more potential clients out there than you even have the capacity to serve well. And because of the digital tools we just talked about, you can cost-effectively reach thousands of these people on a genuine one-to-one basis. And that brings us to the core thesis of this whole explainer. Conversations improve conversions. People buy from people they trust, period, regardless of any arbitrary industry boundaries. Your ability to have a genuine, highly valuable conversation matters so much more than perfect sector alignment. Every single interaction is a fresh opportunity for you to understand someone's specific challenges, to build that baseline of trust, and to position yourself as the ultimate solution for when they're finally ready to pull the trigger. So I want to leave you with this somewhat provocative question. Whose story will intersect with your solution next? It is time to stop looking for needles in a very narrow haystack. The universe of potential clients is vast, and it is entirely made up of stories of real challenges and big hopes, just waiting to intersect with the unique value that you deliver. Go out there, map out the true scope of your potential impact, start having more conversations, and discover all the amazing problems your expertise can actually solve. Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer, and enjoy the journey ahead.